In the year 2000, a man walked into this company's headquarters and offered to sell them the future for $50 million. They laughed him out of the room. That man was the founder of Netflix. 10 years later, the company that laughed was bankrupt. This is the story of the most expensive no in business history. In the late 1990s, Blockbuster was untouchable. 9,000 stores, 84,000 employees, $6 billion a year. If you wanted to watch a movie at home, you went to Blockbuster. There was one on almost every corner. Friday night had a ritual. You drove to the store, you walked the aisles, you picked a film off the shelf, and you took it home. Blockbuster owned that ritual, completely. But the empire had a secret, a dirty little secret that made it a fortune: late fees. If you returned a movie late, you paid $1 a day, sometimes more. Those late fees brought in around $800 million a year, nearly a sixth of the entire company's revenue. Blockbuster wasn't just a movie company, it was a company that made a fortune from punishing its own customers. And the customers hated it. Then, in 1997, a man named Reed Hastings got hit with a $40 late fee for returning a copy of Apollo 13. He was furious. And out of that anger, an idea was born. What if there were no late fees? What if you could keep a movie as long as you wanted? What if it just arrived in your mailbox? That idea became Netflix. By 2000, Netflix was growing, but it was bleeding money. The dot-com bubble had burst. They needed a lifeline. So Reed Hastings flew to Dallas and walked into Blockbuster's headquarters with an offer. Buy us. $50 million. We'll run your online business. You'll promote us in your stores. Blockbuster's executives looked at the struggling little startup in front of them, and they laughed. It's easy to laugh when you're winning. In 2000, Blockbuster had $6 billion and 9,000 stores. Netflix had 300,000 customers and was losing money. The choice seemed obvious. But Blockbuster missed the one thing that mattered. Netflix wasn't selling DVDs by mail. It was selling a future where the store didn't exist at all. Here's what Blockbuster couldn't see. Their most hated feature, late fees, was also their most profitable, $800 million a year. Netflix attacked that exact weakness. No late fees, no due dates, no driving to a store. To beat Netflix, Blockbuster would have to kill its own late fees. It would have to burn down $800 million of its own profit, and it could not bring itself to do it. So it did nothing. For years. In 2004, 4 years after laughing Netflix out of the room, Blockbuster finally launched its own online service, and it was good. It actually started pulling subscribers away from Netflix. In 2005, they went further. They killed late fees. For a moment, it looked like the giant had finally woken up. But here is where the story turns. Killing late fees cost Blockbuster hundreds of millions. The online service cost hundreds of millions more. The company was spending heavily to fight back, and it was working. And then, Blockbuster's own leadership panicked. The board didn't want to spend the money. They forced out the CEO who was leading the fight. They reversed course. They brought late fees back. The one moment Blockbuster was finally doing the right thing, its own leaders pulled the plug. Netflix never looked back. In 2007, it launched streaming. No DVDs, no mail, no stores. Just a button, and the movie played. The thing Reed Hastings had imagined years earlier had arrived. For Blockbuster, the end came fast. The stores that were once its greatest strength became its greatest weakness. 9,000 leases, 84,000 employees, endless shelves of plastic discs nobody was renting anymore. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The company once worth billions was finished. Today, only one Blockbuster store remains on Earth. A single shop in Bend, Oregon. A museum to a fallen empire. And Netflix, the company they could have bought for $50 million, is worth hundreds of billions. Blockbuster didn't die because it was too small, or too poor, or too slow. It died because it was winning, and couldn't imagine that winning would ever end. It protected its best profit instead of its future. It punished the customers it should have served. And when it finally found the courage to change, it lost its nerve at the last moment. That's how empires fall. Not in a single day, but in a series of comfortable choices that each made sense at the time. I'm going to keep telling these stories, the decisions that destroyed the biggest names in the world. If that's something you want to see more of, subscribe. This is Downfall.